Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Thursday afternoon, and it is the Three Amigos. How you doing, Dion?
Howdy, everybody. I'm doing good. Ready for round three.
There you go. And Matt, how are you?
Super awesome. More aerodynamic than ever.
You guys, I got great friends, man. People wish they had friends like mine. I got great friends.
7-year-old.
Exactly. You speak my language, man. Well, hey, one thing I wanted to do is, I think it was yesterday, it might've been the day before, I brought up a Goldman Sachs article that they talked about houses between now and the end of next year. So 15 months, a little bit more than a year. They think the average American home is going to go up another 16%. Now, when I first read that, I actually did a live stream on it. It just feels wrong to me. It kind of felt more like 4, 5, 6% is where I wanted to be. But now that I think inflation's going to be 5, 6, 7,
right,
it's not actually that crazy. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So I guess I'll go to, who did I do first last time? I guess I'll go to Matt first this time.
Sure.
16% increase in your market. Very likely, maybe not going to happen. Where are you in your market first? And then we'll talk about the nation next. So your market of New Hampshire.
Sure, I'm glad I didn't listen to Kim McElroy and say
yeah. 40% decline.
Yeah. 40% down. Now Goldman's telling me 16% up. I'm going to check Goldman's track record. Pretty sure it's better than Ken's on pretty much anything.
Yeah, but, certainly single family homes.
So so I think
16%.
Yeah, I think that I certainly think it's possible. I'm interested, Mike, because of what we covered in segment 1.
Yeah.
Is there any correlation there? Did they know those programs were coming out that then had them cite, hey, this is what the increase is going to be based on the fact that now it's that much more attainable? As Dion was talking about in that video, people buy payment, like we always talk about. And so is there a correlation between the two?
They did cite, I don't forget what the exact wordage was, but basically first time home buyer programs. Did they announce Home Possible? No.
Yeah.
They kept a big umbrella.
Yeah.
So they clearly saw something coming.
They don't like it when the government knows that they can get a hush number out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think likely that's part of what happened.
Okay.
Certainly possible. I would love it and hate it all at the same time.
It's a love-hate thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it because it makes the stuff that I have worth more. I would hate it because it's going to keep marginal, people that are right there in the margins. It's going to keep them off the ladder. And I
but 16%, what is median in your market? Like 4.25?
406.
All right, let's call it 400 then, just for easier math. 16% increase would take that to 464.
Yeah. That's nuts.
That's
Mike,
nuts,
last
right?
year,
That's crazy.
Last year it was 320.
Oh, come on. 320 to 464 in 2 years.
We had a massive importation of Massachusetts refugees.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's go to Dion. 16% in your market. Possible, unlikely. What do you think?
Washington State.
Okay.
16% is conservative.
Oh, dear God.
Seattle is in Washington. It's King County. They had a 30% appreciation. I think it's like 31 in the last year. And we have a couple of different things impacting it. Wage inflation is a thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Even tiny little companies like mine are having to do wage increases because you can go to Chick-fil-A and start at $18, $19 an hour. Not that was a bad thing, but that is significantly more than those kind of restaurants have been paying in the past.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So wage inflation impacts ability to pay based on payment.
Yeah.
More first-time home buyer programs available, but rents are going 20 to 40% up here. Mm-hmm. So investors who look at current rents, not that lender that was talking about whatever they were renting for before.
Yeah.
Current rents are going to show that you can pay significantly more for properties. And one of the things I say often is I wish all of my properties cost more as long as the yield scaled with the increase.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all
so if
about
the rents are going up,
Right.
Yeah.
the price doesn't matter. As long as my yield stays the same, I can't wait to buy more expensive properties.
Yeah, that's just the answer. So again, I'll go back to mine. So when I first read that, I actually had fear of my history, right? Because I saw 04, 05, 06, where Fresno, my market, was the #1 in the nation 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to a $100,000 house turning into a $300,000 house that turned into a 75K house. I've experienced that run. So when I see 20% for the nation and then another 16, I kind of get that uneasiness. Now, as I've thought about this for a couple of days, you guys and I have talked one-on-one now together. I'm like you guys. I think 16% is a layup. Yeah. It's probably a free throw, right? It's probably a free throw. So it's pretty likely. Again, I think Fresno, my market being the cheapest big city in California, easily could do another 20%. I do see some differences last time, right? The multi-year run, like we just talked about in episode number 2, or maybe it was one I've already forgotten, these loan programs. It felt good for a year and then it got a little wonky as they kept trying to get more and more people in them. I'm really going to be watching 2 things. Last crash or last bubble blow up, they switched from 30-year to ARMs. I don't think they're going to do that again this time. What would concern me at the same level is instead of going from 30-year fixed to ARMs, if we went 30-year to 40-year, because just that addition of 120 months makes the payment, very different. And I've done the math. We could get about 12% appreciation just with that move from 30 to 40 years. So these all of these things working together really could make property go up 16 to 20%.
There's one other thing. So Evergrande hit, and the second one hit, there's another company that missed a $206 million payment. Mm-hmm. So that fear of foreign investors is going to drive more demand here. Yeah. So that 16% appreciation, I think, there's so many elements pushing in the same direction that, like I said, I'm not even just Washington. I think pretty much market wide, 16% is conservative.
Yeah, I actually came out in my live stream and I was saying 5 or 6. I've changed my mind after 2 days, going no, because again, if you have 6% inflation, that's really a 0, right? So yeah, I think 16% for the nation is very possible. The only thing that, and again, it's some of this interest rate related, right? If interest rates shot up, not 3 to 303 to 3.13, but like from 303 to 6.1, that would cool housing.
Yep.
Right. Because at some point it is about affordability. But Dion, you brought up the most important thing is wages. I've been talking wage inflation for a while. The 70 or the 50-year spreadsheet points at it. Wages doubled in a decade. Could wages go up double again? I don't know, but could they go up 50%? For sure. And that just means people can afford more. And then if you add 50% more wages and a 40-year mortgage and first-time homebuyer programs, that's just a recipe for huge demand, huge price appreciations. And if you are a landlord, hold on tight, because when values go up, rents follow. And Matt, you had some examples of rent that you've seen here recently.
Yeah. So we had 2 units that last year, they were rented out in August of last year. One of them was rented out for $1,300. And then this year it just rented out for $1,600. Wow. And that's with no improvements, nothing. That was with literally cleaning it.
Okay.
And then we had another unit. And so that's 23%. And then we had another unit, same building. That unit was $1,095 and it just went to 14.25. So that's about 30%.
Yeah.
And they were rented, Mike, in 48 hours.
Yeah. And this is why I'm very concerned about CPI, right? CPI came out yesterday, 5.4, the 4th month in a row above 5%. Here's the deal. You just had 2 examples of north of 20%. CPI, which has rent equivalent lodging or rent equivalent housing, was only up 2.3%.
Yeah, no way.
There's no chance. There's no market in the country that's up 2.3%, unless it's like San Francisco or something. It is up much, much more than that, which tells me that it's a lagging indicator and it's just now working its way in. Inflation is going to get worse before it gets better. Stop talking about transitory. If somebody talks about used car prices one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. It's not. It's a part of this, and it's affecting food. I mean, I got gas is up 40-some%. Oil heating is up going to be 30%. Food's up depending on what it is, between 10 and 21%. Inflation is real, and again, folks, inflation is a tax.
Mike, wire. I'm just rewiring something now, and I keep stock of wire.
Okay.
So, and I keep like a card, and it said last year exactly what I had paid for 14.2 wire, which what wires lights, right?
Okay.
That was 40, I think it was $46 for 250 feet.
Okay.
Home Depot was 118.
Oh, jeez. In a year.
118 in a year. 1 year. It was 118. I just went to go buy spools. 118.
Yeah, another indicator of this is maybe check with your housing authority in your area.
Mhm.
I had a unit open a couple of months ago. Housing authority for that area would pay $1,650 for a 3-bedroom.
Mhm.
I rented it for $1,800. So it's one of the first times I didn't renew a Section 8 unit with a Section 8 tenant, and I have a different tenant. Section 8 called, or the housing authority reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, we've got this emergency housing voucher program through the CARES Act, where for the 3-bedroom, they'll pay $2,200, but it has to be a new Section 8 placement. So I don't have an open one right now, but if you guys have any that are open, maybe reach out to the housing authority and anybody watching and ask about the emergency housing voucher. It's significantly more than what they were willing to pay for the same unit a couple months ago.
Yeah, housing is behind. I mean, they're behind.
Way behind.
Way behind. Again, I've been doing this 20 years and always accepted Section 8. Always. It's a big part of my life. But yeah, they're way behind. Yeah.
And I know that for us and for our county, because it's county based, I know in our county, I know that they're actually raising it to, I think they're raising it between 10 and 12%. And I said to him, I said, all due respect, you're not even close. You'd have to do that every year forever.
Yeah.
You'll still never catch the market.
You'll just never catch up. Yeah.
Like you'll never catch it. It's going to have to be bigger. And I think they grew the program like by 7% last year.
Yeah.
Like number of people, 7%. That's just the number of people that they're helping now grew 7%. That's not how much money it went up. I mean,
yeah, it's so okay. So let's talk nationally now, which is what Goldman Sachs was. We first talked about our individual markets, and we'll just take an over under, right? So Dion, if the number is 16% for the country, would you want to take the over or the under for
over?
Yeah. And yourself, Matt?
Oh.
Oh.
You have to go under, so we're at least at odds, because
and so you can tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Mike, when we had talked about this, and the three of us talked about this like 90 days ago, we had that conversation. I said, I think we're going to see some months next year that are going to be negative.
Yeah.
Based on what's happened in the last 72 hours, I no longer think that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because it's math.
It's math, people.
It's math.
Yeah. Wages, first-time home buyer programs, 3%, no credit requirements. Then you have the little 40-year mortgage out there. Yeah, I think we're over as well. I think that is just so we're clear, nationally speaking, 16% increase would be a record, except for the year we just had.
Right.
And
it takes the momentum out of the last 60, 75 days cratering or even slowing down. You know, I was, Dion, I was telling Mike on Tuesday that I just saw a house in an area where houses trade around 600-700K. Somebody just paid 1.3 million cash for a place, no contingencies, 21-day close. My mouth was open the entire time they were telling me. I was like, what the hell's happening? What is going on?
Yeah. So if you're on my channel, one rental at a time, and you're in my course, do the work, write some offers. You have cheap 30-year money, get 30-year money, 30-year money, 30-year money, no alligators. And then hold on. I think we're going to repeat the 70s. And the only people that won the 70s were people who owned assets, because the assets doubled. And if you had fixed rate debt, your cash flow exploded because rents more than doubled. Values doubled, rents more than doubled. It's an easy equation for the three of us. So Matt, how can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday, a live stream, Real Estate Palooza.
And Dion, yourself?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And Tuesday, I think it's the 19th. I haven't looked at the calendar.
It would be the 19th.
The 19th.
Yeah,
Yes.
19th.
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Dion's doing a live stream. It's going to be
wait.
so much fun. All right, guys. Thank you very much for this. It's a great week.
Thanks, Mike.